Welcome back to Chicago Cars Direct. Today we're going to spend some time with an extremely rare car here in the States. This is a 2006 Volkswagen Phaeton. Under the hood of the Phaeton, you're going to find the Audi version of the 4.2 liter V8. The reason I say the Audi version is it's making the full 335 horsepower you get in the A8. This car structurally is a twin to the A8. The only difference is this is a steel skeleton on top of that one being aluminum, which is a trade-off in twofold with a point in both sides. There you've got the aluminum structure, which is expensive to insure, so your insurance costs will be lower on this. Well, it is a little bit lighter, but when you get to a car this size, you're not going to feel a huge difference. This is routed to the 6-speed automatic, which is in turn routed to all 4 wheels. Standard 4-wheel drive on this car. It didn't really do well here, but I think the people that understand what this car really is understand the value of it. The base price on these were roughly 70 grand in 06, but this is a really, really well kept one-owner example. But let's walk around and take a look. Now, this car has traveled 66,000 miles. I want you to keep that in mind as we walk around it because I'm going to point out just a couple of minor imperfections. Across the front, I mean, it really, from 10 feet away, it's in excellent shape. There are a couple stone chips across the front of the hood here. Actually, I think that might even be tree sap. Let's see, maybe even if we can get that off, that might work. But there are a couple. I mean, they're going to be there. I'm not, you know, you can't sugarcoat those, but for a 66,000 mile car, very well cared for. Really cool set of Xenon lamps here with a pop-up washer there. You do have fog lights in the lower part of the grille. Coming around to the side here, you have a nice fresh set of 255/45 R18s. These are the Michelin All Seasons. I think these actually might even be the original spec tire for the car. But nice looking wheel. That was upgraded, I think, for the 06 year was. But look at long wheelbase. It's the only way they came. You can get the A8 in the short or the long. This is the equivalent of the A8L. It's got a huge back seat, as you'll see. But walking around to the rear, the only real, and I'll have to call this out because it's really the only real imperfection with the car. You can see they made a light contact spot here. It did crack the lens. Everything's intact, but there's a small white scuff. From quite ways away, you can't really see it, but you'd have to replace this chrome piece here and the turn signal as well. But that is really all the damage I can show you. There's just a little bit of clear coat stuff here that's peeling. Not much you can do about that, but that's all we have to show you. Very, very minor. Everything else, all the way around, it's all original. But, you know, even with these miles, you got to remember, one owner who took this good a care of it, obviously loved the car very much.
Y'all want to see something stupid?
Check this out. This is like a cavernous trunk. I could probably almost lay all the way down in there, but neat part is you do have the cargo mat that comes with the car. You can hang that across the rear back here, but you have a set of the full winter mats. I actually think these are fantastic, and the carpets inside actually show that these were used, but these are super high quality and they're the factory cut set, so you can see that. And then below the floorboard here, that's spare with a nearly new Michelin tire attached. Interior is like absolutely beautiful on this car. If you look at the seats, I mean, there's really the tiniest bit of wrinkling here on the leather, and that's it. But you can see the 3-position memory there, as well as the lumbar settings. But I mean, getting in's obviously very easy and very simple. Look at the wood trim and everything. I mean, it's really high end on this car. You know, I hate to keep quoting Bentley as the comparison or the Audi, but these are definitely appointments that are way more fitting of those lines than what you'd consider of a Volkswagen. Behind the wheel, I don't think it's fair to call this car a Volkswagen, at least not by the U.S. standards. It is so much more Audi A8, and they have a really distinctly different interior, which is pretty neat. This is a very pretty, well-polished, well-done interior. Of anything that you touch that is plastic, it's of the highest quality, but most of it is chrome, leather, or wood. If you look at the gauges up here, these actually are very reminiscent of the gauge cluster that comes out of the Bentley Continental, and it's because they virtually are one and the same. The script might be a little bit different, but the layout's the same. The gauge cluster readout in here is the same. It's actually the same as the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, which is pretty neat to know. But power tilt and telescope steering wheel here. You got a multi-function steering wheel, and this will control all the functions through the graphic display up here. Automatic setting for the Xenons up front. But other than that, you know, pretty much your conventional luxury items. In the center here, again, out of the Bentley Continental, this is an identical system to what you'd find in there. It's the same screen, same setup, but it does have navigation. You can actually pair a phone up with it. There's not one obviously paired right now, but a ton of settings. Got a premium audio system with a 6-disc CD changer that I believe is mounted right in there, and that other slot over there is for the navigation disc. Take a look at the seat in here. Like I said, they're very comfortable, but you can see nice wide bolsters. It's very reminiscent, just in look, of the BMW 7 Series Comfort seat, which is an option. They are both power seats. You've got power lumbar as well, and a number of other options. But check out the shifter here. This is a 6-speed automatic it's mated to, so drop it right and drive it. Acts like a normal automatic. You do have a sport mode that's going to allow the engine to rev a little bit higher before it shifts, or the Tiptronic function. Push it forward to upshift, pull it back to downshift, and you can drive it like a manual. Behind that, you're going to find your switches for the heated seats up here. This is a switch which will adjust the active suspension. Once you press that, you can see on the dashboard here, you can switch between comfort and 3 more settings all the way up to sport. The ESP button here, that's your electronic stability program, traction and stability control. And then this is a height adjustment for the suspension. As soon as you hit this, it'll actually raise the car up a few inches. This is a cavernous back seat back here. Really a nice big size. Like I said, this is identical to the long wheelbase Audi as far as dimension, but you can see they can put the footrest in here. You can really sit back and stretch out. You also have in here a set of the factory sunshades. These are an individual option on the car. As I've been driving this car today, I've been trying to figure out what it reminds me of, and I figured it out. It's the Flying Spur, because it is really probably the same wheelbase. It might even be the same dimensions. But what I like about this car is that the Flying Spur should actually drive like this, and this should drive like the Flying Spur. I think the Flying Spur is a little too sporty. You know, it's still a 4-door. It should be more luxurious. This is softer. It floats, and I don't know if it's just because it weighs a little bit more because of the steel frame, but I really love the way it rides. It reminds me more of a Cadillac DTS, I guess, in the way it rides than a Volkswagen, or hell, even a Bentley for that matter. But I mean, you're barely even feeling the speed bumps. You're feeling the change in elevation, but the suspension is so well tuned that it really does absorb them here. Nice. You still got 335 horses right in front of you. That sound really good, I might also add. I might. We're out on the highway and I'm just amazed at how smooth this car is, how quiet it is. It's got a very subtle refinement similar to like a Rolls Royce. Just very substantial. The attention to detail is spectacular in this car, even though they are using gauges that are used in a lot of other high-end stuff. But you know, they're not taking it from the lower end of the parts bin. But this is a comfy cruiser. It's really quiet. Wow, actually, we're going a pretty good clip here. But you got adjustable suspension. You can put in the sport mode. It does take off pretty well. You can go right ahead and come and meet this guy right here. We'll give you a little showing. Listen to that V8 roar. It's not bad. This is no lightweight. This car reminds me more of an LS460 than a Volkswagen, Audi, or a Bentley or Rolls Royce. Very comfortable, beautiful condition. Obviously, a couple minor imperfections, but a car like that that's been, carried in this condition, it's easily remediable. A couple pieces of info here. I've got the Auto Check and Carfax Vehicle History Report. Both indicate a one-owner history, but blemish-free. They're guaranteed in every way. Actually, it shows on the Carfax history. The car's been very well maintained. Looks like they've gotten in every 3,000 to 5,000 miles and just had the service done. So, pretty nice vote of confidence when looking at a car of this caliber. Check it out though. Check out some more pictures online that my buddy here, Dangerous Dave, is showing his talent on. You'll find us at chicagocarsdirect.com, and when you're done there, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/chicagocarsdirect. Thanks for taking a look at this pretty rare piece of German machinery. We'll see you next time.